I'm Dr. Barry, licensed psychologist, and here I share legal and entertainment news from a psychological perspective. Happy New Year. This is my first video of 2025. I cannot believe that we are this far into the new year. Recently, I saw that Court TV re released the interview of Lori Vallow from back in 2019, because I think those interviews came out in 2021 after she was arrested and charged in the deaths of Tylee, JJ, and Tammy. And the death of her husband, Charles Vallow, came before all of these other incidents. And so I think because this is a case that's going on down in Arizona, Lori Vallow is going to be representing herself. And it'll be interesting to see if she tries to get any of these videos withheld, because I do not know what's going to be on the state's exhibit list. I would suspect that Charles's police interview, where he's saying she told me that she's gonna unalive me, like she's acting weird, and I would guess that that information would come in. She portrayed herself. I don't know what a jury would think of the interview she did immediately after everything. So, for anyone that's new to this case, Lori Vallow was married to Charles Vallow, and at that same time, she was having an affair with Chad Daybell. And Alex Cox, Lori's brother, was over at the house and unalived her husband Charles. And Alex Cox died after the death of Tammy, and to me some of that still seems pretty suspicious. We do not know if anything, like I think they said he had some medical condition or something, but because I think he had the same pink substance that Tammy had. And so that's where my brain is just wondering what happened. This is a great place for a disclaimer. We are just chatting. Okay. So Lori has been convicted in the deaths of JJ, Tylee, and Tammy. She is on trial for her husband, Charles Vallow, and there's going to be a separate trial for conspiracy against her ex nephew in law. I don't know. Like there was, so Boudreaux. I want to say it was Boudreaux. She's so those Brandon Boudreaux. That one, there are going to be two separate trials down in Arizona that she is going to represent herself for. Let's take a look at the body cam, because I did an initial interview. I did an additional like poll just to see if people had already seen the body cam footage of Charles Vallow. So I have two videos down in the description. This first one is Charles Vallow outside of a hotel, and he's just trying to talk with the kids. There's a longer video here, and so I'm going to share this tab. We are going to watch the second video, but if you want to go back and watch that shorter 7-minute video, I have that one linked down in the description. He says very similar things here in this longer video. So this is obviously this is January 31st, 2019, based on the body. I'm not exactly sure. I would guess that date is correct, but that's what this looks like. Let's get started.
Come over here. So what's going on tonight?
I will try to repeat if there are parts of it that are difficult to hear. Let me see. There we go.
I can't get in touch with my kids.
How old are your kids?
6.5 and 16. Okay.
How long have you been trying?
2 days.
Okay.
But she's lost her mind. I don't know how to say it. We're LDS. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a God. And remember the 144,000. Jesus is coming next year. She took all the money out of her bank account today. My truck has gone from the airport. She went to the airport and got it. I just flew in from Dallas. Houston, Dallas. So,
where's your truck?
I don't know.
Okay.
A friend of mine's truck picked me up. I went to the CSI to file a report, which is the community bridges or something. To file a report.
So you did the petition?
Yeah, they ordered a pickup.
Okay. What time did you do that?
Hour and a half ago.
Okay. So what makes her a danger to herself and to others?
She threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. And she said,
how did she do that?
My bishop right there is in the car. He was on the phone with me today when she said, "I will have you destroyed." Is what she said there.
Okay, that's not a threat to kill you.
Yesterday was a threat to kill me.
Okay. What did she say yesterday?
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Okay. So knowing what we know now, okay, I feel sorry for, and what I mean by I feel sorry, it's we're looking back at this knowing what we know now. Okay, because I agree, Chelsea, this is so awful to hear knowing what we know now. And he was aware that she was losing touch with reality. There were issues going on, that she was a threat to him and possibly the children too. He was aware of this, and he tried to get help. He did. And I don't think he did anything wrong. It's just this case is so odd. The officer is looking like what? Like she, because also they're respectful of, okay, if you're LDS and you believe this, but her beliefs went beyond what the what a traditional religious belief, because she's telling him, you're not Charles, you're Nick somebody. He's going to say the name. Like, she was specifically saying that he was somebody else. Let's keep it going. um I just want to see what speed. I think I have it at normal. Okay. And so we are just listening to, we are listening at normal speed. All right. I like to let you all know if I speed it up or slow it down.
Okay.
All right.
Says I'm gonna kill you too. Yesterday was I'm
So
gonna
she's
kill.
speaking as a spiritual being.
She's not here. She lost her reality.
Is this just all recent, or has it been going on?
It's been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's gotten really, really bad lately. She goes to the temple every day and speaks with Moroni and Jesus Christ, and they tell her what to do. And now she came to her today, and last couple of days she says, "I'm not Charles. You're not Charles. You're Nick Schneider." I don't know where she gets his names from. She got all this stuff from these people in Utah who tell her how many past lives she's had and probation she's had. And she's was married to Moroni way back when, and she was also married to James the Just. And
Okay, this is all foreign to me. So
it's foreign to me.
Well, I'm not LDS.
It's crazy stuff.
I know you're using LDS terms here.
But it's just
Okay.
she's nonsensical.
Okay.
And I haven't seen my.
I think they might have cut out the name of a child, or they cut out somebody's name right there.
Is he the older one or the younger one?
He's 6.5 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, they cut out JJ's name right there.
Okay. I want to do this now. You've got a pickup order. Am I correct?
We do.
Okay. If she doesn't answer, what do we do?
If she doesn't answer, we can't enforce the order.
Can I break into my house?
Do you live here?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
My lease. I pay the lease.
Do you guys have any orders of protections against you?
No, we do not.
So no police reports?
No, nothing.
Okay. So how does she pose a threat to your children?
I don't know what she's going to do with them. I don't know if she's going to flee with them. She's going to hurt them.
You don't even know if she's here, right?
Today on the phone. I can't. All the cars are. The garage is closed. I don't know. She locked the garage door.
I know.
I haven't been up there yet.
I know. But what I'm. Hold on.
Sorry.
What I'm saying is, do you normally park 2 vehicles in the garage, inside the garage?
Correct.
Okay. So it's a possibility that her car and your truck are inside there?
I don't think she could fit my truck in her car at the same time. She may put them somewhere else. She said to me, all your stuff is gone. Charles' stuff is gone. You're not Charles, your stuff is gone. I don't know what that means.
And how long have you been trying to get in touch with the kids?
Since yesterday.
Since yesterday? Like last night or yesterday morning? Or?
About landed in Houston Tuesday about 10.
Okay. Why did you leave?
There's a trip in Houston.
Okay. And when did you leave?
Tuesday morning about 5 a.m.
Okay. Tuesday. All right. Wow. It's
Wednesday night.
So you left yesterday?
Yeah.
You left yesterday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And police officers have to deal with domestic disputes, or because sometimes there can be custody things. I think what wasn't truly heard was him talking about all of her nonsensical statements, her saying that he's not him. I think some of those things, I wish somebody had heard some of that. And I do think because she presents well, and she presents like everything's okay, and like a typical because we're gonna watch the interview after he was after he was capital M'd. And this is just really, really sad to watch. But I think it's important going into the next trial, because he was aware that there was a risk.
Flew to Houston. Flew back today.
Tonight.
Yeah,
she canceled my flight. She came to the airport, took my truck.
Did she tell you that?
No, she knows the code. She knows where it's parked. She wouldn't.
Did she go with you to the airport?
No, but I go to the airport. I fly 45 round trips a year. She knows where I park. I've got handicap plates because JJ's handicapped.
Did you file a stolen vehicle report with Phoenix?
I know she took it.
How do you know? You suspect?
I suspect.
Okay.
I suspect.
All right.
I know your term. So,
okay.
Yeah. But
without concrete evidence, we can't say.
I suspect.
Sure. Okay.
And she has the keys, the code. It's a Ford. The door code.
Door code.
And I just want to see my boys okay. And she's got a pickup order. I need to go. She needs to go, and I'm gonna take my stuff.
So you normally live here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I live here.
Okay.
Yeah. All my stuff's in my house.
Okay.
We got a service dog in there. Beautiful dog. My daughter's in the front window right there.
So let me ask you this: when you came back, why didn't you just go to the home?
Because she told me not to come near it. All my stuff is gone.
Okay.
I'm not stupid. She could have done anything.
Okay.
I thought this would be the best way to do it. With what she's gone through and what Gabe witnessed with me on the phone today, I thought it was best to have her. She's psychologically, she's gone. Something's happened to her.
How old is she?
45.
45.
Beautiful.
So if we talk to her, is she going to be able to have a rational conversation with us?
Oh, she will. I'm sure she will.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just.
She'll probably tell me I'm crazy, huh? Is that what you suspect?
Probably.
Okay.
You're a dark spirit. That's what she's going to tell you.
Okay.
I'm a dark spirit. Gabe's with me. He's our bishop. He's going to be a dark spirit.
But I think she probably wouldn't. If this police officer did talk with her, so I haven't finished this video. She would probably pretend like everything was okay, I think.
Whatever that means. You're evil.
And you said this has been going on for like 4 years?
Well, it's to an extent, but it's gotten really bad the last several months. And I've been trying to ignore it because hoping it'll get better.
Is she on any medications?
No. She won't do medications.
Has she been to the doctor?
She won't go to the doctor because she's a translated being, and they would find out she's translated. She cannot be killed. She cannot die.
And that's what she thinks?
Yes.
Okay. And she's been telling you that?
Yes, and Gabe too.
Okay.
He heard this, not just me. This is I love her to death. This is killing me, officer.
Oh, I can understand.
Our 13th anniversary is next month. We've been at a great marriage. All of a sudden, the last month it just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
She just lost connection.
This is so that part, I wanted to make sure to cover that part, because it's so sad just how much he truly loved her. And I don't know if in the trial it's going to come out that he reached out to Tammy, Chad's wife, to let her know about the affair. He found out about the affair. And Lori is going to mention that her brother was going to come. I don't think the cops knew that she was having an affair when they did her interview. I don't think they knew that. Um, ugh, let's keep it going.
Okay. So as for, so you, has she made any statements about wanting to hurt the children or anything?
Today she said with Gabe on the phone, come take the kids. I don't care what happens to them. Come take them.
Okay, but she didn't make a direct threat towards the kids.
No, not a direct threat.
Okay. And then she said that she would murder you through a spiritual.
No, she said, I can murder you.
I can murder you.
then
And she's
said,
talking in a
I will
spirit,
kill you.
spiritual.
No, she's talking physically. I will kill you because you're not Charles, and nobody will care.
Okay. So she at this point doesn't think you are her husband?
She thinks I'm Mick Schneider.
Who's Mick Schneider?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's the name she used. I don't know where it came from.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm as bewildered as you are. This is so foreign to me. Normal people, as far as I'm concerned, that, this happens, it just drives me, I don't know what to do. I need help, and she needs help. She needs help. And I'll go to bed. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I got to take my son to
And
school.
you just didn't want to go inside because of the statements that she made?
She took my car and I suspect she took my car and my keys. I have no keys to get in.
Oh, okay.
No garage door opener.
Okay.
She knows what she's doing. She took $35,000 out of our bank account today. I can't make payroll Friday for my company.
Dang, 35,000. Dang. I wasn't aware she took out that much money. Wow. Wow, she did wow. I hope that he immediately, like, did not give her access to his company, bank account.
It's just, she changed our bank account numbers. I had to change it myself to get back in, and I saw the money's gone. I've got $7 in my name.
So, what's your first name again?
Charles.
Charles. Charles lives here with his wife and 2 children. Charles was away on
There's
business.
A third nephew upstairs. His name is Zach. He's 19. He's our nephew. He can stay with us.
Have you tried to call him?
Yeah, he won't call me.
I wonder if Zach I didn't realize there was somebody else living upstairs. I wonder if that person will be called as part of Charles's wow, I didn't realize there was somebody else in the home.
Zach either.
Why won't he call you
I
back?
don't know.
Okay.
That's what I'm worried about. I hope they're okay, but I don't know. It's valid.
All right. So his question is, he lives here. There's no orders against either one of them. If we can't make contact.
If he wants to let us in, now we're doing a 670 check.
I don't know how to get in. I could have to break a window. I can try to.
Where I was going with this, he was in Houston on a business trip, and then he flies back in to Sky Harbor, and his truck's gone. He suspects that she went there and took the truck. He doesn't know.
Use my wallet in it, so.
Right. So, all right. Is this house or the one with the flashing lights?
Right there.
On the side of the road.
Oh, where those palm trees are?
And I can try the key code on the garage. I don't know if they changed it or not. I think I know the code. We just moved in January 1st. And Gabe Bonilla here lives right down the corner. He will tell you if he was on the phone with her today with me. I passed it in and she said all that stuff.
Does she have any inside the house? She does?
Right.
Does she know how to use
I
it?
don't know if she knows how to use it. I don't know.
I think that was something about pew pews. I think that part was cut out. I'm gonna fast forward a little.
I don't know where my kids are.
Well,
They're all gone.
Is anything in her place in here, like she might have taken off somewhere?
All 4 cars are gone.
Oh, yeah, 4 cars.
I wonder if this is the hotel video after. Okay, so I have the link to this full video down in the description. There is a 7-minute video at the hotel. So maybe he figured out that she was staying at a hotel. This is January 31st, 2019. Because let's see when the other one was. What date was this? This was also the 31st. So that seems like this one must be earlier in the day. I'm not sure. All right, so let's go on ahead and play this one.
So is she in?
This one's going to be very similar. Him talking about her odd beliefs, and he just wants to see the kids and make sure that everybody's okay.
There.
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here, or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a drug criminality. She thinks you're LDS?
Yes.
She thinks she's married to Morona in the past. This is her
You
eighth-
think she's what?
married to Morona at the top of the temple.
Angel,
Angel.
LDS. Angel.
They don't let
She's
me
got
in
an
there.
8 probation, and she knows when the second coming is happening next year. So does the prophet.
Okay.
He knows and she knows about it. She meets with Morona and Jesus Christ face to face in the temple every day. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Schneider. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow. I can do it. I'm out there with my priest, with my power. She does priesthood blessings. She does.
So
This is
who's
so
Nick
crazy.
Schneider? Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Right. Okay. So he's not at
So
church.
she's
He's
throwing me out.
not.
She took my truck from the airport. Suspect she took my truck from the airport last night when I flew in. She canceled my flight. I had to buy a ticket. I took him back home. I've got a 6-year-old with special needs.
Right. And he's safe at that school somewhere.
Right.
Okay.
For now. If she knows I'm here, she's going to go get me.
Okay. What car? What is she driving?
A black Infiniti QX80.
And you've looked all through the parking lots.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do you have the license plate on that?
It's KDM 62 or 63 or 67. It's not handicapped. Okay?
Nothing in the pin. There it is.
And I don't know where she put my truck. She took $35,000 in cash out of my account yesterday. I mean, I just never thought she would do anything like this, but she's just lost touch with reality. I'm not me. She yells. She's scared the crap out of me.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming you guys have phones. Is that an iPhone?
Yes.
Are you able to track to see where her phone is right now?
The
I
phone's
hear
right here with me.
iPhones.
The phone's with me.
Oh, your phone. Now, how do you get her phone?
Because it was in the car this morning when she pulled up to school. I took the keys out of her purse out so she couldn't leave. That's when I called you guys.
Okay.
Somehow she has a set of keys and left with my dog. And so I don't know where I saw this in her purse. I don't think she's here. They were going to give me a key to the room. I was going to go, if you guys will come with me, see if she's in the room.
We can't just go in. If you're not allowed to go in, we can't either. We can
That's on my
just.
credit card. She did the
Okay, that's going to be up to them if they allow you to go
Sure.
in. Now, we can't. Now, you guys are
You guys
married,
wait
so
here?
there shouldn't be. No, we're waiting for right now. What we're doing is my sergeant wanted to get some information from you. I was about to call you, but then Gary said you were here. We are just going to wait a second. My sergeant, they're on their way because we have a sergeant training. So they're going to be here. They have the paperwork. So if she is here, we knock on the door. She's here. That's why we need the paperwork in hand.
Okay.
Okay, so we can take her. So
Tell me
that's
again
why-
real quick.
That's why
What
we're here. Right?
What's her first name?
Lori.
Lori.
Hello.
And tell me again about the vehicle. It's a black Infiniti
Infiniti QX80.
QX80.
Yes,
And try that
I'm
license
gonna
plate
go ahead and
again.
give them a call.
With S4 passes.
KDM
62, 63, 60. Is it registered to you?
Yes.
Spell your last name again.
V is in Victor, ALLOW.
Vallow?
Yes.
Okay. That's an SUV that you're describing, right? Okay, I know what it is.
I'm gonna go check and see if I can go in there, and I'll be right back. Okay, sir.
Okay. Also find out if they'll give you permission to go into that room.
Right. Gonna fast forward.
She was able to leave the school. We're not sure if she's here or not. He's thinking that he would be able to get in the room, and I said that's up to you, and that's up to the hotel. That's not what we do. So I told him that we're waiting for you with the paperwork, and that's what we've got going on right now. He thinks she's still staying here just for the reason is that he was able to grab that key out of her purse in the car at that school in Central area, wherever that school was. All right. Okay.
Okay, I don't think much more is going to happen from this one. I have both of these videos linked down in the description. We didn't finish all of the first one. I do want to make sure that we get through Lori's police interview. So this is because this incident happened, I want to say it was July, but y'all know me and dates, so let me look it up real quick. I have my notes here. And I also have the overview of this case down in the description as well. Let's see. All right. So this was in this interview because I think everything happened in July of 2019, and we are going to watch an interview with Lori and the police after Alex, her brother, we know what happened to Charles. So he was um, unalived in their home. Alex claimed self-defense. And I wish that they had looked at the past records, and I wish that they had looked at all this. Lori is going to make claims that I don't think are true. So Lori is going to try to make herself the victim. She is going to say that Charles was this horrible man that was like, she's going to make claims about he only cared about JJ, and there were instant that there was conflict between Charles and Tylee, and I don't think any of that is true. My own personal thoughts. We'll play it from here. Let me turn on closed captions and let's go.
Silly, but it's probably the easiest way to start, is just to tell me what happened. And then, so you can start what makes the most sense to you, and we'll just work our way through, and I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions just to kind of clarify.
Sure.
So I know you talked to the initial patrol officer.
And he just got information. He didn't say anything.
So yeah, if you can just kind of tell me kind of what happened. It sounds like some of this may have started last night or something along those lines.
Right.
So start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so,
I told you, it's a crazy question.
well, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is. So we
Okay.
were in Houston. And so he's like, we had decided to separate or whatever. So he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ.
Mhm.
Because we adopted him together. He's
Okay.
his great nephew. We adopted him as a
Okay.
baby. And so we adopted him as a baby, and so we've been raising him together. And he travels all the time for business, so he's used to just going back and forth. So he's always gone like Monday through Friday. So he came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's all these.
Okay, so this must have been when she moved back to Arizona. So those first interviews, so that's where I wonder if any of this, because I think let me check and see where this body cam was, if this was in Texas. I don't know what the state is gonna do in this case. So Gilbert police officers, I think Gilbert is Texas. Gilbert, Texas. Yeah. Okay. So the videos we watched with Charles, that was in Texas. And then she moved to Arizona, and that's where the incident happened was in Arizona. And that's where her trial is taking place.
Threats on my phone all the time, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me,
What kind of threats?
just you'd have to read them to see, but he's always mad at me, right?
Okay.
And
This reminds me of when Sarah Boone would say that how threatened she felt um, by George when she was the one that was actually exhibiting a lot of the controlling DV behavior was from Sarah and not from George at all. Because he gave specific examples of ways in which she was threatening him, but then she's asked to give a threat and she can't talk about anything specific. And we have the hindsight of knowing everything else, okay? So upon first look, I think she puts forth a pretty like you initially kind of hear her story, but then I think things start falling apart when you see all the other evidence. And I'm interested to see how the state puts their case together. And I'm wondering if she's going to try to keep her other convictions out or the other deaths or incidents out of this case. I don't know if she will, because to me, Charles, that's what kind of started all the rest of this. And I think she has some other deceased husbands that kind of have you wondering, ooh, like it's such a sad case. Such a sad case. We're gonna keep going.
doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him. So that's just how it is. So we married for 14 years. We've dealt with it for 14 years of him being horrible to her. Like he gets in huge fights with her.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, a lot of things. But anyway, so he said, I'm coming Wednesday night. All of a sudden, I want to see JJ. And I told him, I said, I will never keep JJ from you. You can come see whatever you want to. Come take him to school, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do that.
So when you initially moved, he had said he was going to buy you a house. So you moved here with your
he was going to rent us a house.
And so you moved.
All my family lives here. So we lived here for a long time.
Okay.
And then he moved us to Houston.
Okay.
And we were there with my son. He was out of school. He didn't have any of his services, his DDD, his anything. He ripped him out of school and said, we're moving.
Okay.
And I didn't go with him at first. And he took him. And I let him take him.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't file anything or whatever. And then he filed something against me and said, I'm only going to get supervised visits because I'm crazy and blah, 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 the story. And so I just didn't talk to him for 30 days and let him take care of him and let him see what I've been doing for the past 7 years, because men need to do that. I have 5 kids. I have grown kids. I have grandkids.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to threaten me that you're not going to let me see my child without supervised visitation? Okay, do it for 30 days and see how long it lasts. You're begging me to come pick him up.
Yeah.
But she did. It's just come back and whatever. So I moved in with them to Houston for the family, and Tyler went with me. We drove to Houston from here and left all our family and all his support, all my son's support, his cousins, everything. And we were there. I enrolled him in school there. I tried to start all his services, and it takes forever.
Yeah.
It takes so long to get that done.
There's no easy transferring.
There's no easy transfer.
You start from the beginning.
It's a totally new thing.
Yeah.
And he didn't do any of it in those 30 days. So he just had gone without services, without even applying. And I'm like, do you even realize? Because he didn't ever do it in the first place. I did it. Long story. I'll keep it short. He hasn't been here in a couple weeks since we moved in. Okay. He came. He was very nasty when he was there, but he travels for business. So he went back to the Houston house, and he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm going to come pick up JJ and take him to school Thursday, pick him up Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house. And I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor. She has to live here.
Yeah. So
because he gets in huge fights up there.
Okay.
And she hates him.
So my personal opinion, my thoughts on this so far is that she's very much centering herself. She's trying to make him out to be the bad guy. This she very clearly does not like him at all. She does not seem to care that he is deceased. And it's almost as though she's saying, like, we're all better off. And it breaks my heart because we just watched that video of him saying that she told him that if he died, no one would care. And like this is a lot. But we're getting prepared for the upcoming trial. And I'm glad that I get to watch this with you all. Let me know if y'all have questions as we go, and let's keep it going.
And so like, you can't stay at the house, so I will book you a hotel, because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business, and the business pays for it, right? So I said, I will book you a hotel nearby.
What does he do?
He works with teachers in their retirement plans, but he goes to them at their school.
Oh,
He
okay.
mostly works in California,
Okay.
no matter where we live. And we lived in Hawaii, he'd work in California, he'd work in Texas. He has like books of business in different areas. And so he just goes wherever.
Okay.
It kind of just gives him freedom that he doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs.
Yeah.
It's like an excuse, right? So I've done that myself for the past 7 years anyway. And I was a single mom before I married him with my 2 kids.
Yeah.
And he had 2 kids. We got married, tried to make a family.
Yeah.
How it goes. Anyway. So he said he was coming last night. I said, well, you can't stay at this house because you can't get on the plane. I'll get you a hotel. You can come play with JJ. But he goes to school all day.
Yeah.
I got him back into his school. His services, I met with the DDD yesterday, and they finally are getting his services back. But we're paying $125 a day to have him back at school because he's so out of his routine. He's been a nightmare on the floor, kicking stuff, hitting stuff, walls. Like, he just ripped him out of his life.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just how he is, because he only thinks about himself. So.
And that is, wow. He only thinks about himself. I just don't believe that. I don't. And I highlighted a comment earlier that just talked about how loved Charles was. And it sounds like he was a really good dad. And this is difficult. I'm not going to argue with that. This is so hard. And she does come off emotionally immature. I do feel like she's stuck in like, and once again, that like 12 emotionally, she comes off very immature. I almost wondered if she saw Tylee as competition, and I think Tylee just wanted to please her mom and be loved by her mom. We are not going to watch Tylee's interview today. That is out there. I only have until about 7:15, so I'm not able to play that one today. If y'all have any questions about that one, if it would be helpful for us to take a look back, just let me know. When I cover these things, I always want to do it from a perspective of what can we get and learn from it. Because if I was the family, I always try to cover it as though the family is watching. And so let's go on ahead and keep it going. All right, let's go.
He says, coming to get JJ, and JJ's like, I don't want Dad, because he knows Dad took him away. So he was freaking out, right? So I didn't tell him he was even coming. Like, Dad's going to come take you to school, I think. So he didn't bother me last.
And that's not, for a child with autism, like, that's structure and routine is incredibly important. And I wonder, I can't with her.
Which I was surprised. I was expecting kind of an ambush for him to kind of like come over or be just mean. And say, it's my house, I'm on the lease, I'm going to stay here, kind of thing. Because that's kind of his macho attitude. And so he came this morning, I was getting JJ ready.
So he got in last night, but he wasn't at the house last night.
Yeah, I didn't hear from him, except for he texted me and said, I'll be there at 7:30 to pick up JJ.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that was good, because I didn't hear from him. And then he came over in the morning and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, And I was just gonna be nice. I'm just gonna be nice as possible. And I had JJ stuff already for school. And so,
do you remember about what time he got there?
He said he'd be there 7:30, but it was more like 7:40-ish
Okay.
or 7:35, I don't know.
Okay.
But I remember thinking, looking at the clock, and he wasn't there at 7:30, and he's usually Mr.
And so this is something else where individuals with narcissistic traits, they will get mad if you are minutes late. And yet she took the children and ran off without telling him or any like that video that we watched from Texas. She just disappeared. She took his truck. She took $35,000 and she just operates with this entitlement that is just stomach turning. Just is.
Yeah.
on
I'm
time.
sure.
Yes. So I was like, okay. And then JJ was like, oh, Dad. And then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Dad, I can just drive you to school. It's no big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever.
Calm.
Yeah, calm. And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like, I'm
And your
leaving.
brother lives there with you?
No,
Okay.
he had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was gonna come over and
Okay.
cause trouble with me.
And that's where I wonder if all of this was kind of planned and if she told Alex to handle. Alex seems like he did her bidding, and Alex is her brother. This just doesn't feel right.
Okay.
And just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother. And it's been a long story. Like I had to go live at my brother's when he took JJ, and you know he's just been difficult. So
Yeah.
anyway, so I got JJ stuff ready. And he was like, well, and he's like this about timing. He's like, I'm leaving in 20 minutes because it's like 15 minutes to the school, and like you can't get there early. They don't open the gates until 8:20 or something like that. And I said, well, why don't you just go now? I don't want him in the house. I'm like, why don't you just go now and take him to Burger King because that's what he likes for breakfast. And he's very particular about food. Like he wanted chicken.
So this isn't a tried and true fact, but often liars try to persuade you and they give you all of these details that really don't matter because they're trying to get an idea of what was the environment, what was going on. But why are we talking about Burger King and breakfast? And like and a police interrogator, like they'll just let you talk about because she's just doing a police interview. And she's very much giving the information that she wants to give. I do believe that Dr. G Explains talked about any body language from this video. It's just so, and I'm sure the behavior panel, I'm pretty sure if they haven't broken this one down, y'all can definitely recommend that the behavior panel break this one down if they haven't already.
Chicken fries for breakfast and this right. Like, and I just get what he wants because if you don't get what he wants, then it's like on the floor screaming, dragging him into school. Like, and he's big and he's heavy and it's hard for me to handle. But anyway, so I said, just go. And so he said, okay. So I gave him a backpack. He got in the car. This is his MO, right? He always leaves something in the house and comes back. He never leaves the first time. I always expect my husband to come back into the house, right? So I guess he had left his phone on the counter.
So he initially left with the backpack and with JJ?
And so he put them in the car,
Okay.
in the driveway, and then he came back in, right? So I kissed JJ goodbye. He came back in, and his phone was on the counter, and I had his phone. And he was like, give me my phone. And I was like, why don't you show me your text that you've been texting, blah, 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 you know?
And I wonder, so I don't know when he started trying to email Tammy. So he tried to email and call Tammy Daybell, Chad's wife. He emailed her at school. He was trying to let people know. He had reached out to one of Lori's brothers just to try to get a family intervention. And she was aware of all of this. And so, because she's going to let a little bit of that slip out about her brother.
Whatever, because he's like acting really weird, like he's plotting something against me. Like I'm like, why are you even here? Like, what did you
Once again, flipping it, well, he's plotting against her, and yet we know what happened to him.
come here for? You know, he's been talking to my other brother, and my brother came into town at the same time last night, and I haven't talked to my brother in a while, my other brother, and I was like, And so he was texting him on the phone when he first got to my house. And I'm like, why are you texting Adam? Like, do you even talk to him? Like my other brothers. And, he's been telling me all these texts, like, you're going down, blah, 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 blah. He's blaming me for our marriage breaking up and my niece getting divorced and my friend getting.
Well, she had an affair. I think she told Melanie, because I think Melanie is her niece. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Because I think the Brandon Boudreaux is the one that they believe she was like that she orchestrated the attempted hit on his life. Like, what? Like, it's just, that's where I'm saying she's letting little bits of truth slip out, but she's weaponizing it against Charles, when from where I am taking a step back, it looks like a lot of this is the things that she was doing.
Getting divorced. He said, I'm a destroyer of families because I want everybody to get divorced. I'm like, what would my motivation be for people getting divorced? So I could babysit the kids more? Like, why would I have any control over what people do?
Yeah.
So it's just very odd. But anyway, he goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tyler and I have had to leave with JJ over the years, probably 5 times, and just stay in a hotel for 2 days because he goes nuts. Like, you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, whatever. And she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ, and he's special needs, and it's really hard. Like, it's even hard to take care of by yourself.
So when you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things.
Right.
So goes nuts like yelling and screaming.
Yeah,
goes
yelling
nuts
and screaming,
like breaking
like,
things.
yes.
Goes nuts like physical violence.
I don't believe any of this. I don't. And I don't know where the truth is. I'm just telling y'all how I feel.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us or pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical
Okay.
before. And with my grown son.
Like physical how?
Like got into a physical fist fight with my son when he was 16.
Okay.
And he came after Tylee 2 times in Hawaii.
Okay.
And like went like he was gonna hit her, but then I got in between them.
Uh-huh.
Right.
How old was she when that happened?
Probably 13 and 14.
Okay. So this morning he comes back in and
He comes back in, I haven't given his phone, he was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried about whatever was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there and he was screaming at me. And I was kind of walking towards around the house with it so he couldn't get it. He's like reaching for it and stuff like that. And so Tylee came out of her room.
Which you're not allowed to take somebody's phone and not give it back. Because I think she's saying she had his phone and she wouldn't give it back. You can't do that. I'm not a lawyer. I just watch a lot of like LawTube. I don't think you can do that.
Upset, and she had a bat, and she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really whatever, and he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, 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 blah. Then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there in bed, and so he came out into the main room.
So my mom asked the question, does the interviewer seem to be leading her for information and clarity? And this is where I think Lori was controlling this narrative. Like, I think she was saying exactly what she wanted to say. And I don't know. Like, this is the interviewer, because police, they're supposed to kind of stay neutral, but sometimes I could see Lori trying to use her manipulation and charm to get someone on her side. She very much wants to be believed and she wants to be on somebody's side because Lori, to me, keeps getting the interviewer to be like, oh, you know how, like, to connect and relate to her. That's what I see Lori doing. That's just my own thoughts. Keep going.
And I guess whatever.
What's your brother's name?
Alex.
Alex, okay.
And then he just started, he was screaming and he was super upset and whatever, and he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he like grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to like hit Tylee with the bat. It was And I was right there, and they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like just to stop him from hitting Tylee.
You go like this, like he grabbed him, like
Yeah, from behind, like just kind of to pull him back. And then they got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like grappling around or whatever. And then, it was all
and he
quickly.
and he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff.
Yeah, yes, he was hitting him with the bat, like swinging the bat, back and forth, and they were kind of like on the ground, and I was like freaking out trying to go around, knowing JJ was in the car,
Yeah.
right? And so then he got up and he had the bat like this towards me, and I was going around the other side to try to just get out of his range where he couldn't hit me. And then I had told Tylee, because she was on the ground, because after he took the bat from her, she fell back. And so I told her, I was like, go get in the car with JJ. Like, I don't want JJ coming in to the house, and I wanted her out of the way. I wanted the kids out of the way, whatever.
Because you knew what was coming next? Or, I don't know.
This fight was going to be. And then,
Do you remember what your husband or your brother were saying or yelling during all of this? If they were at all?
just kind of get off me, out, or whatever. They were like, don't talk to my niece about whatever. Whatever. Like, it was, I don't remember specifics, but they were kind of both. They were kind of in the heat of it. I don't think there was many words that I remember.
So Tylee goes outside.
Yeah, she was outside,
And then what happened?
then they got up from that, and my brother had stepped back, I guess, and then Charles was coming with me to that and yelling at me to give him his phone still, because I had it in my hand. It was all really quickly, and then when I went around kind of in the circle, then my brother was there.
When you said when you were going around and he was coming at you with the bat, how was he holding the bat?
Just like that, like backwards, almost in one arm.
Like he was swinging it backwards? He would have done like.
Nobody holds a bat like this. People, the way that she did the bat motion, that's not how people. Now, I don't know that that's how people hold bats. Maybe it is. I don't know. And there is an interview with Lori's cousin on Hidden True Crime. I think no, not on that one. It's on Mormon Podcasts. It's on Mormon Podcasts. While we are watching this, I will find the link to that one. It goes into the Cox family and weird stuff with Lori's parents, especially Lori's dad. Nothing confirmed, but just odd things. Yeah, it's definitely on Mormon Stories podcast. Thank you. I will find the link to it. The cousin was roommates with Lori, and a lot of this behavior started early on. And I think Lori was a cheerleader, and I think she liked getting attention for her looks. She wanted to be the prettiest. There was a boy that was interested in Lori, and Lori didn't like the guy. But so then the cousin went on, I think, one date with the guy, and Lori got so mad that so this is all from the cousin's perspective, that Lori called the cousin's mom and said that she was doing all this stuff and pretty much lied on this cousin. And it ended up causing problems for her. It was a very eye-opening interview. I agree. Like her demonstration of the bat doesn't make sense to me, but that's just me. Oh wow, she was a Mrs. Texas contestant on Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with wanting attention, but I think she can get it in unhealthy ways. And I think she wants it by any means necessary. Let's keep this going.
He would have swung it backwards at me, not frontward.
Okay, yeah.
He was a professional baseball player.
Okay.
So it wasn't a good idea for Tyler to get out of that.
Probably not.
Who would be laughing right now? Like, it's just so odd that she's laughing about that. Like, this isn't a moment to be laughing. Like, this is strange.
I mean, he played semi-pro when he was young. But
And then she had to bring it back down. It was semi-pro. It wasn't professional. It was semi-pro.
yeah, and then I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room, except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you heard the shot?
mm-hmm.
Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around
Mm-hmm.
to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if he went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm like a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground.
Okay.
And was freaking out.
Yeah.
And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mama. I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids. I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And got JJ in the car, and he was trying to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened. And I told her to get in the car and we're going to take JJ to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Okay.
Like it all happened very quickly. That
Right.
was, I feel like I was there because I was right there. And like a second later, like
Okay.
I just went around the kitchen to get away from him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was gonna come back in maybe, but I didn't.
And somebody in the comments had a good question. Why not call 911? Why are y'all not saying anything? Like, if somebody on a lot, like, I don't know that I would, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in a situation like this, but this seems odd. This doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right to me.
And I was like, I just have to get him to school and call the police, come back, whatever.
Did anybody say did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me and
Okay.
he said, "Are you taking JJ to school?"
Uh-huh.
And I said, "Yeah."
Because that's a very odd thing to do after, like, I can't believe you're going to take him to school. Like, that's a strange thing to do, I think. I think that's strange. I think that's strange. But
Now we need to call the police. And he said, "Okay."
Okay. So he called you when you didn't come back inside, basically?
Right.
Okay.
Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want JJ to go inside, and I
Okay.
didn't know what to do. And Tylee was freaking out. I was trying to get them away from the scene.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
who would send their child to school after that? Like, that's so strange.
I don't, and you may not know this,
Mm-hmm.
so, because I know you heard the shot. Do you know at what point your brother had the gun? Do you know if he had it when they got in their first fight, or did he have to go get it, or do you know that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
And do you remember if you ever heard your brother?
I didn't see him ever leave the room.
Okay.
So it was so fast. All that was so fast. Like I'm on the ground rolling around and I'm screaming, and
This probably happened in a couple seconds.
yeah, I mean it was like super fast.
And I don't know if you know this or not, does your brother normally carry a gun? Like, I carry a gun everywhere I go.
Right. Like I
So-
know he's a gun person. Like
Okay.
he has guns and things.
Okay.
He's good with guns.
Did you know that he had one with him
No,
when he came over?
no, but
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, because
Okay.
he's very, very professional with guns.
Proficient, professional.
Okay.
responsible is usually a good
Right,
bad word.
responsible with it.
She used the word professional and not responsible. She said professional.
And then, do you remember if at any time, so you were trying to get away from him
Right.
and you heard the shot. Prior to the shot, do you remember at any point hearing your husband or your brother saying anything to either of them?
No.
So my second very ridiculous question is there anything else that I didn't ask about or anything that we didn't cover that you think is important?
The affair, the prior threats, the prior police involvement. I have a lot of questions, but that's hindsight. I know more information than they knew. And I wonder if she was intentional to do this in Arizona, in a new state, and not in Texas. Like, and that's where I think for DV, I think that there should be like a federal tracking, because sometimes things like this can happen where somebody just moves to a new state that doesn't have any knowledge of their past history, because they would have to look it up in the court system to find any past things or whatever, or the person would have to file a new order of protection if they were able to get one. Based on her odd statements, I don't even know if a judge would have granted him a a restraining order or protective order, because I think she would have lied and said, "No, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant. This is just a religious belief. I didn't mean that he would die physically." Like, I think she would lie. Those are just my own thoughts.
I always ask that just because I wasn't there, and so we're going through something that happened a super small amount of time.
Yes. Can I
So,
step back?
Yeah, go for it.
Just thinking.
How often have we seen somebody get crisscross applesauce in their police interrogation? Like, how often does that happen? To me, Tylee seemed anxious in her interview. That one really does break my heart. That one's harder to watch. Oh, you did.
Just that.
You're right. Ferguson, Paul Ferguson. Did Jody do it too?
He was just so angry, like super scary.
Did
You
you
know how you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and they freak out?
Who takes a phone from a grown person? So I would never take my husband's phone. Like, take it from him and not give it back to him? Because if we're having an issue that requires this level of intervention and conversation, like, who does that? But people, I know people do it. It's I don't recommend it. I think it's highly toxic. I think it's really toxic. And if you know somebody's cheating, if you suspect those things, like, talk with your therapist. They'll give you good tips. But nope.
Like their world disintegrates. Like I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before, and he's like wanted to kill himself because like they kidnapped him. That's how it was. It was like is something on his phone that he does not want me to see, that he was like
reaching out,
like to the point where I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
Okay. So you thought, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but.
So this is where I wonder if, oh gosh, we got to figure out when did Charles Vallow reach out to Tammy? Can we find this just by Googling it? Do we know the exact day? Because there were emails and there were phone calls to June 29th, 2019. Okay. So, because we've suspected, did Chad monitor Tammy's email, or did Chad find out that Charles had emailed Tammy? So according to this KSL TV article, and I'll put that over in the comments. I like citing my sources. I wonder if she knew that he had reached out, that Charles had reached out to Tammy to let Tammy know. Wow. Let's keep it going.
You thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you.
Absolutely, he was gonna hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like,
Yeah.
he was going like ballistic about. It was.
I'd be interested to hear the evidence. I hope they did a thorough autopsy, because they did not charge her with this crime until after her other crimes. So after her other crimes, Arizona took a look at Charles's death and the attempt on her niece's ex-husband. That's when they took a look at all this.
That. Okay. I'm gonna go talk to her real quick.
Okay.
And then if obviously, we'll be here for a little bit, hopefully not too much longer. But if you think of anything or there's anything that kind of pops in your head or something else that we didn't cover, obviously. So I'm gonna go talk to her for just a little bit, and then I'll kind of come back and check with you. And then we'll kind of go from there. So I know my partner's talking to your
Her posture is kind of defensive, but I think she just looks comfortable. Like she looks comfortable.
brother over in one of the other interview rooms. So we're gonna just try to get, as much done as we can and go from there.
Okay.
Okay. And then, is there anybody that you need to call or anything, or you want to wait a little bit?
I don't know what I would say.
And wait a little bit, we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know what I would say.
If you want to, you can think about it. So we do have victim services.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where I'm gonna cut it for today. Let me know if y'all have any other questions or anything. She could have been cold. It could have been cold in the room. I don't know. She didn't sit like that until the end of the interview. When she was asked if there was anything else that she should share. And the detective really didn't have any other reason to suspect that it was anything more than this. I do not believe the detective thought that was aware. I don't think this detective was aware of the past incidents and some of their history. They're only hearing it from Lori's side. And I do think Tylee, I think Lori, my suspicion, I don't know that this is true, and Tylee isn't going to be able to testify in this trial. I do not know if for Charles's trial, are they going to bring in Tylee's interview? I don't know if they will. But there's a possibility that they could. And so there was times she looked kind of annoyed, because even Jeannie said she looked inconvenienced. I agree. I definitely agree. Towards the end of this video, I did just want to share, there was, because there was a case that I covered in the past. Let me go to my YouTube history so I can pull it up. I think this was on Court TV as well. They had a video for Harmony Montgomery. So her father, Adam Montgomery, was charged and convicted. I think he was convicted to 50-something years in her death. Well, the Supreme Court, there is somebody doing a documentary about the child welfare system, and they want to see the hearing where the father was granted custody of Harmony, and Child Protection is fighting the release of the closed hearing. They want that to stay sealed, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court in Massachusetts. And so we will see if we get those records. It really was a horrific case. What she endured with her father was just horrific. I don't think he loved his daughter at all. I don't think he cared. I think he did receive financial benefits from having her, and the person making the documentary wants to see how was this individual with a violent history, how was he given custody of a child? And I think in that record, there's also the adoption of her brother and the brother's family. So the brother's adoptive fathers, they it's my understanding, so this was from the court TV interview, and I will share a link to that one in the description as well. Um the uh the it's my understanding that the adoptive fathers are okay with this being released. That's my understanding. Court TV might have them on to talk about it again, but this is just super. So I'm keeping an eye on that case. The next time I plan to stream will be on Saturday. If there's any pop-up things that come up because we have snow days, I'm probably going to be teleworking Wednesday and Thursday. And so please make sure that your notifications are turned on. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I will probably head into the office by Friday, but then I do plan to stream about 1:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. If there are cases that you would like for me to take a look at, please put them down in the comments. I am keeping an eye on the Courtney Clenny case. Karen Reed goes too slow for me. Okay, so Emily D. Baker covered the most recent Karen Reed update. I know Melody Little also covers that case. It moves too slow, and so I can't. I'll watch the quick bits episode that gives the highlight of whatever happened today. But I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I will see y'all next time. Bye.